Okay, so we are talking about the quotient rule here. And there's a bunch of exponent rules that you're going to kind of need to know, and they're all going to make sense together. So not just the quotient rule. So let's take a look at these. And if you don't know these, go ahead and pause the video, write these down, and keep these close. Um, so the first one is x to the a times x to the b is x to the a plus b, meaning if you have two x's or something with the same bases like a and a, 5 and 5, b and b, z and z, anything, and you multiply them together, um, their exponents will add. If you have, we're not going to see this here, but if you have an exponent outside parentheses, here if you have x squared to the third, then you multiply those. So x squared to the third would be x to the sixth. And we're going to need these rules here, so 3a and 3b, and these are the same rule, just kind of backwards. So x to the negative a equals 1 over x to the positive a. You can just rewrite all negatives as positives on the other side of the fraction. And similarly, if you have xe on the bottom, you can bring it on the top. Oop, I didn't have an a here. That's missing. Okay. So again, that's the rule. So here, so if you have x to the negative 2 over x to the 3, you can bring this on the bottom and lose the negative. And then you have rule 1, where x, with the same base, x, you add the exponent. So that's 3 minus 2, which is just 1 over x. Okay. So now let's apply this stuff to our problem here. Let's take a look. So again, with these quotient rules, you just kind of look at the a's together, you look at the b's together, and you look at the coefficients together, right? So you say, well, can 3 divide 9? Can a squared divide a to the negative 3? And we're going to be using these rules to kind of put the negatives up top or put the negatives on the bottom. So let's write this out. We have 3a 3 b to the minus 2 over 9a minus 3 b minus 4. Okay, so what is the first rule we can apply? Take a look, think about this for a sec, pause this video, try this on your own, and let me know what you come up with. Well, actually, just I'll keep going and give this a pause for a second and see if you can try it on your own. But okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is see that we have a negative on the top and a negative and negatives on the bottom. Well, we can always bring those. We want to get rid of the negatives, right? It says simplify the expression, write the answer using only positive exponents. So the first thing I'm going to do is, oh, sorry, this is a 2. I messed that up. Okay. So you always kind of want to look and say, we'll just try this, but if you can look ahead and say, okay, well, the sum of these is going to be positive, or the difference of these is going to be negative, try to just think a step ahead, so that you can switch around whatever you need to. So let's do these the coefficients first. 3 over 9, that's 1/3, right? So we can just write, 1/3. Okay, so that's a start. So let's bring this a up. Let's bring this negative a up to the top. So we have a squared already. And when we can bring this up and lose the negative. So then we can just write a to the third up here. And we have b to the negative 2. So why don't we bring that on the bottom and see what happens. So we have b to the minus 4 now. And then if we bring b to the negative 2 on the bottom, we have b to the 2, right? We lose the negative. Okay, so what does that equal? That equals 1/3. The a's add, so we do 2 plus 3, right, using rule 1. So that's a to the 5. And on the bottom, well, negative 4 plus 2, that's b to the negative 2. So like I said, if you can think ahead and avoid, so now we can simply say, okay, well, we'll use this rule here. We'll bring the b to the negative 2 up top. But had we thought ahead right here, we could have said, oh, okay, well, if we bring the negative 4 up to the top, that'd be 4 minus 2, which is positive 2, which is exactly what we're going to get when we bring this up to the top here. So we could have skipped that step of bringing b squared to the bottom, adding them and seeing it's still negative, and then we brought it back to the top. We could have just said, okay, well, negative 4 is greater than negative 2. Bring that up, we'd get 4 minus 2. Okay, so we can kind of lose this 1 because it's just a 1. So this is our final answer, 8 to the 5th, b squared over 3. And let's show that answer. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. So again, we use these exponent rules. We brought the negatives to the top, and we simplified with no negative terms, and that is your solution.